Everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do another review of Justice Society of America by Geoff Johns, Dale Eaglesham, and Ruy Jose. Number 2 by DC Comics with the Alex Ross cover from, with Starman here. Really cool. So without further ado, let's dive in because I really enjoyed the series. So we have a little bit narrative here of a guy that is, swallowing painkillers. Now, why? So he talks about, there's a reunion, some kind of family reunion every year, and he talks about that his grandfather was Commander Steele. He had, I don't know, his body ripped open by a bomb, and he went into some kind of an experimental surgery, replacing his bones with steel alloy, etc., etc. But then also later, his cousin took the grandfather's spot on a picnic bench here, and did the same operations, became Steel, even joined the Justice League of America. But then Hank was put on life support by a mad scientist, then torn apart by an alien. The next year, I took the spot on a picnic bench. I threw up state champs the year before. I got full ride from Ohio State for it. And the Hollywood Reporter or some kind of a news channel said that he's going to be a rising star, but that somehow he tore a ligament in his knee, shattered the kneecap, and then he had a lot of pain, but they didn't know what it was. Maybe an infection. So they described him some pills. And eventually he has so much pain that, they took off his complete underleg. So, yeah. So this guy's suffering a lot from pain and depression, right? Too bad. I mean, I'm sorry. That sounds a little bit insensitive, but, I feel a little bit bad for him. Then we move to where we left off in the last issue. So it seems that Wildcat has a son called Tom. And so he says, "Hey, Dad, nice suit. You don't sound surprised to find out Wildcat's your dad. I know for years." Really? So Wildcat is not really happy why, Alan and Jade doesn't say anything about it. And so he says, basically, he, if they told him that, he wouldn't come, etc. So, but then Jay says, "Hey, we need to go, and we need to, leave Wildcat behind because there's something on the headquarters." And he also talks about a potential new recruit, right? So we go to the headquarters and we see Mr. America, who is, dead, lying on a table. And there's all these glass shards, blood, and all that stuff. So Dr. Midnight examines him, and he says, "Yeah, he's a goner." And Power Girl uses her Kryptonian powers to search the area, but doesn't find anything. And this newest recruit is called Cyclone, I guess. She's really upset. And we're gonna step by step find out what's going on, right? I'm sorry, I'm just looking at these pages here. So they are doing some sweeping around the area to see if the perpetrator is still around, right? And but then Dammit says something like, "What did this guy expect? All he's got is a domino mask and a whip." Great. Grant a little respect. I'm only pointing out the obvious, Jesse. Why is everybody floating? So yeah, there's something wrong now because it seems that Starman is very upset about the things that are happening, and so he uses unwillingly his powers to make everybody's float. And he says, "I'm feeling really uncomfortable, and I don't know how to do this because normally I make stuff heavy instead of light, so it doesn't make any sense." So Dr. Midnight says, "Hey, you're contaminating the crime scene, Starman." So he talks about a guy called Ken's Newmore. And he says, "Does that ring any bells?" And so he starts to talk gibberish. So Power Girl comes in and he says, turn the anti-gravity field off, and screw your head on right. You going on a journey, Power Girl. Bouncing around like I do, like a beach ball. Enough with the riddles. Nut job, turn it off, now. I'll try, he says. So, but then he accidentally uses his own power, well, his real power that's making everything heavy. So everything is crashing down real hard, and walls are breaking and all that stuff. And then, yeah, he is Starman is a nut job. So he says things that leads to events in the future that we don't know yet. And he says, there's something coming, a lightning storm. Yeah, I wonder what that is, right? So maybe some big event. And then we go back to Grant and his son Tom. And yeah, he talks about his mom and etc. And how they met. But, Grant doesn't know anything because mostly it probably was a one-night fling. So so Tom says how it all happens, that, that they hooked up, after a couple of drinks and one thing led to another. She never saw you after that. And also that his mom is not alive anymore. Why didn't she ever tell me? For the same reason I did. Doing what you do, you got enough to worry about. I've watched you only television. I watch you on television, read your interviews in the papers and on the net. You were this big boxing champ, and now your old costume pals are asking to play father knows best. But you, and I think there's a quote, have no interest in being a father. I'm here to teach those rookies how to break bones. Yeah, that was something like that. So yeah, Wildcat doesn't know how to handle this whole situation, right? And now, but then we have a particular scene that I like. So this guy talks about there's about that when the JSA contacted him, he figured out that it was inevitable that they have some kind of a reunion, right? And this whole GSA series about family, bloodlines, and stuff like that I really enjoyed. And so let's make this easy, Dad. I don't hold any grudges because you don't remember Mom. I don't stay up late at night wishing you could play catch. I don't blame you for all of my habits and hang-ups. I don't want or expect anything from you because I don't need a father. So he says, and you don't need a son. Now hold on a second, Tommy. It's Tom. Should we at least, I don't know, get a beer or two and get to know each other? So he says that he already knows who the famous Wildcat is, all that he needs to know. I'm never going to put on a fur costume and punch people in the face. And he also says that they got nothing in common. Hell, I haven't been in a fight since the 8th grade. So he takes a sip of the beer and he says, did you win? No. I really like this scene. It feels really powerful. So props to the creators and, the artists that, that they highlight, a lot of things in here, right? Like loss, pain, depression, maybe frustration. He's tried to hide his emotions and all that stuff. It's really well done. I was surprised that this is the second time that I'm reading the series, and now I'm looking at it from a way different perspective. And things that I didn't see when I was younger. This is a book from 2007. I see it now, and I appreciate that a little bit more. Right. Then we go back to the mansion, and it seems that this young girl. I forgot her real name, but let's say Cyclone is really upset. She is, the typical high school newbie, very innocent, doesn't know how the world works, all these dangers that she could face. But then Courtney comes in and says, do you know what happened on my first day? Right? And she says, somebody murdered Wesley Dodge, the original Sandman. I freaked, I got sick in the girls' bathroom. I thought about leaving, but we found out who did it, and we brought him to justice. We need you here, Maxine. Oh, so that's her real name. We need you because the Justice Society is going to find out who killed Mr. America, and we're going to bring him to justice too. Come on, Where? She says. So, I don't know, there's some kind of a room with clothes and how do you say? Fabrics. I heard you were a theater major. Theater major? We're getting you a costume. Cool, right? Now, I'm going to do this here, but I'm also going to rant a little bit, but not about the comic, about something else. I mean, it's familiar territory what I'm going to tell you, but I need to highlight this, right? So, okay, maybe on the next page too. So we see Alan here, and he says, how did Mr. America die? So Dr. Midnight says, hey, I'm going to, tell you when I do a autopsy. And but he says, I got multiple lacerations and blood loss. Whoever hit him hard. And he has also internal bleeding. So he has some kind of a heat vision or infrared picking something that's lodged in his left lung. Now, if you look at this page, right, what do you see? Well, there's a lot of going on. So first of all, when I always talk about modern comics and there's, computer screens with nothing on it, well, what do you know? In this comic, because it's good, because this creator does know, how to present a comic in a, way that we wanted to see, we have stuff on screen, right? We have, schematics, pictures, camera, a lot of stuff going on. Not only that, we have actually a book cabinet here, or a book. Is it a book cabinet? Is that how you say it? I don't know. With actually books in it. There's detail on this pillar. There is something here plotched on the wall. There is a chair that looks very detailed. We have a computer keyboard with buttons on it, well, and it has depth because you can see those buttons. We have a small chair. We have an autopsy bed here, right? There's a lot of going on, and all this is in one page. That's what I always tell people, that backgrounds matter. It gives you a sense of scale. It gives you a sense of where you are. You can say, hey, this is a laboratory. This is an autopsy room. There's also, that leads us to maybe the library. I'm not sure. It's all interconnected, but it's looking great. Not only that, speaking of great colors too. Now, modern comics, I try to make it short, guys, is bombards readers with billions of colors. Photoshop guy loves to throw all these colors in. Now, when you look at this here, you see mostly 3 colors on screen when it comes to, maybe I said that a little bit wrong. Let's pick the color red. So you have the color red. We have a different shade of red in here, and we have black to top it off. We have a purple, another set of purple color in here. We top it off with black. Same with the green, same with, the facial flesh color with the browns. That's all we need. It looks clean, right? We don't need billions of colors on screen. Have clean art, 3 colors per color, yeah, if you can call it that, color, a different shade of color, black. That's all you need. Looks fantastic. Looks great. Okay, I'm stopping now. But I have to point it out. And again, look at this. Backgrounds. Well, all these things here in the background. Skeletons, objects, things on water. Man. Modern artists cannot do this somehow. Or they are too lazy. That's how I feel it. Anyway, so Jay says, hey, how are the kids holding up? The rookies are rattled, even damaged, though he would never admit it. The heat spike in his body, his blood pressure rose significantly when he saw Mr. America. I love it that they, talk about and maybe a little bit worried about the rest of the team, right? That's why I've said this cohesion, old GSA, new recruits, they look out for each other, especially the old guard, looking out for the younger. I love that. This whole family, this bonding, this connecting with the new guards, the new rookies, the new GSA, the new blood, if you will. It's fantastic. Anyway, so, and they also recap a little bit about what happened in the first issue. So if you know what's going on, check it out or read this panel here. You can pause the video. Seems that Mr. America, Alan says, hey, we need to inform his family. But, Dr. Midnight says, well, that his family was murdered. And so they can contact any of them. And now I really like this. The bloodline of Mr. America is gone. Now the composition here is fantastic. So this is a dramatic scene that the bloodline is over and we should feel something, right? Well, if you look at this composition with people, the top side, it emotes, is that how you say it? Evokes, for me, a feeling of sadness. So if we maybe look at, if the composition was different and we look at the faces, it would probably feels different. So having a top-down perspective, and saying these words is really impactful. For me anyway. I mean, I feel how heavy it weighs on these people here, on these superheroes. It's great stuff. Anyway, so we go to the park. Well, so we have this family reunion, and then we have Nate here walking, depressed, and he says, I should have brought my painkillers. It's starting to hurt again. So then he accidentally got, hit with the ball, I'm not sure how you call this thing. So a football, sorry. And his brother comes. And his brother's Kirk. He say, hey, Mom is looking for you. I didn't know you were here. I'm sorry, I'm just jumping on a little bit too fast. He says, hey, bro, John threw it too wide. He doesn't have an arm like you do, Did. Mom's been looking for you. I didn't know you were here. I've been there, Kirk. Actually, you haven't, Nate. You haven't been here for a long time. Everyone's been asking where you've been. Tell them not to worry. It's the kids that's having been asking. They're waiting for you to get up on that picnic table and tell some stories. I don't have any stories this year. Sure, you can talk about your physical therapy, what you did to get through this. I'm not through it. So he says, hey, man, I need to go. And he says, I don't belong here anymore. I just don't. But then, isn't this art freaking awesome? Look at this. Hartman comes in and he's pouncing on an enemy. And great detail, great colors. So we have, broken... Is this an armor, a vest, or something? His feathers are damaged. These guys look ripped. He's bloody. It's looking freaking awesome, amazing. And so he says, Hawkman, come on, hey, we're getting out of here. Get everyone out of here, says Hawkman. They're coming after you, all of you. Every single one of Commander Steele's children. And then something happened to this young boy, to Kirk. A touch of my hand, and the boy is but another metal statue. Courtesy of the Third Reich. Oh my God. Everybody's gonna get killed. Women and children first. Man, what an amazing scene. So yeah, we have Nazi sympathizers here, super villains. But then we switch to, I don't believe, the study room, maybe? Library room. And it's coming, isn't it? What is Starman? The great disaster. And he talks about that he needs to find her and him. So Power Girl and Mr. Terrific don't know what he's talking about. But then, I don't know. See all this great stuff in the background, So basically he solves some equation. Impossible. What did he do? I've been working on a theory involving super-strong dark matter and hyperspace for the last year and a half. Some scientists believe gravity is a weak signal from a parallel universe. I think Starman just proved them right. How did you know how to do that? Third grade science. I got a B+. I love that. And it helped me. I know. I was trying to come back here, but I landed somewhere else first. And I was trapped. Oops. Trapped some place that was blown to kingdom come. And this, we see the the Alex Ross art from the Kingdom Come comic. So yeah, it's all interconnected. Really good. Multiple